Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Timeless Broadcast Project covering the Contenders Summer Series 2023. I am Joker's Ransom. He is Dividing, and we're here on not one, but two streams, depending on your loyalty here. We're either on Rift, Overwatch 2, or O3 / Twitch, whichever floats your boat.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to our production manager, Solomon, who has somehow mastered cloning technology. We are in two places at once, and that's pretty crazy. I'm not sure if that's ever happened in Contenders before, official or unofficial. If it has, you could go ahead and prove me wrong in the chat, but more importantly here, Josh, we have got a banger of a game coming up. Back here on the Rift broadcast, which is where we were yesterday at the start of the summer series, we watched them take home a 5-map series against Strix, but it feels like so much has happened since then.
Yeah, Strix kind of became incredible after that matchup against Rift. So we do know Rift can win against these seemingly top-tier teams. Obviously, they've had a bit of a rough go as of late, I believe, with the matchups that they've had. It is kind of rough. They've had to play Wisp and Saints back to back, looking to get back on track with a win against O3 Splash. And we take a look at O3 Splash starting things off in the win column. All three going into their favor, and well, actually, but there's that story right there. Those first two both went to 5 maps.
Yeah, you can tell that O3 Splash, they're currently sitting at 3-0 overall, but they definitely haven't, it hasn't been a walk in the park by any means, right? 10 maps in one day yesterday is a lot for any player, regardless of how seasoned you are. But you get back on track with a 3-0 victory against Worldwide on the mainstream just a little bit ago. And you're coming into this one feeling very, very confident for sure, especially considering they really seem to have settled in to a little bit of a pattern, a little bit of a comfort based on their two tanks, Infected and Cowman. While it is a little bit, all their games have been streamed so far and more data is being collected about them, you learn the patterns, right? If you see Infected coming in, you're seeing Winston and Dive for the most part, and then if you see Cowman, you're most likely seeing Ramatra and Brawl. But knowing that those are your guys for those specific compositions, having that level of comfort has really helped O3 Splash in the early goings of the season, where it feels like a lot of teams are trying to feel themselves out and figure out where they're going to go with their rosters for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, right now we're seeing the meta obviously develop, and it is in that sense a dive oriented meta. And when Devin decided to go through and accumulate every composition that has been played by both of these two teams so far on broadcast, and
I want to go on record and say I don't have a problem, but yes, I did go through all of the VODs. And yeah.
So besides obvious maps like a Circuit Royale or or something like a Coliseum or something like that. It's been pretty much all Winston. But hey, I don't know. With Oasis, it is an interesting map. You can play that dive like we were talking about with the Winston, but it also can go towards that more brawly aspect, especially where we start off on or where we end up going. Because, I mean, if we only see 2 sub-variants, it really just depends on that.
Yeah, you're talking about University for sure. Is that sort of brawl-centric map? It's much more closed in. It really lends itself well. We're not starting on Oasis, actually. It looks like we're starting off on Lijiang Tower this time around. Little bit of an oopsie, but Lijiang Tower, the tried and true opener, starting off on Control Center as well. So same principles as University here, right, Josh? You've got the Brawl composition coming in, the Ramattra from both sides. Interestingly, though, I'm noticing that O3 Splash are going to teleport out of spawn with the Symmetra. You could stick with the Symmetra to start for this first round. We're going to see if Lukewarm is going to do just that. Nope, we're going to go ahead and swap over onto the Sojourn.
Okay, I was confused. It is actually Lijiang Tower. That is the first map for round number 4. This is round number 4, and that's where we're headed. And we're starting off with Control Center with the elusive Cowman. We were led to believe that they were not going to be here. They were trying to do us dirty, trying to get us looking like not professional people. But, well, they've got he's in the lobby here and starting things off, trying to go toe-to-toe with Astronex, who is on this point, trying to assert their dominance, but it looks like it is going to be Rift with the starting pick in the fight, with Hanbei finding that pick on the Baptiste on to Lukewarm and now forcing them back, looking to solidify this series. But no, they've lost out Astronex. Now Boat finds that pick with the Mei, and now the side of O3 Splash can look to assert their dominance, assert their will, and get this point into their favor. Whoever can find this next pick, and it looks like Boat yet again comes in clutch with another 3 kills for the Mei of O3 Splash.
Yeah, beautifully done from Boat there. When it came to map 5, one of O3 Splash's map 5's maps earlier yesterday, it was really Lukewarm who popped off on the Sojourn, so that's what I was looking for. But look at Boat, already with the Blizzard available after 1 fight, a massive advantage, and you're going to be capitalizing immediately.
And go coming in with the picks already. That Mei ultimate gonna be all they need in the world to win that fight out and buy more time in the capture percentage.
Yeah, you get to basically have 2 fights for the price of 1. Well, the price of 1 fight and a Blizzard from Boat, but hey, that's giving you plenty of time for Cowman to bring up that that Annihilation, and you're going to be able to get the Amplification Matrix from neutral. Of course, that's coming in from both sides, and you also have the Blizzard on the other side. So 2 ults, 3 ults actually, because XN has the Dragon Strike as well.
Gonna get things going. There's the Mei ultimate coming in from Chime to start things off. They do find a pick. They've got Deco out of the fight here now. And, well, they're able to come now into this fight, but they're not able to find all the picks that they're looking for. A nice Maywell does come in from Chime. Can they find him out? No, they cannot. There it goes. There's the Annihilation coming in from both of the Ramattras, looking to assert their dominance, looking for the pick, and a nice Dragon Strike coming through from X10, trying to separate them out, finding Lukewarm out, and another huge Maywell from Chime to solidify the fight, taking Cowman out, but now they've got to kill these stragglers, get the point back into their favor before it gets to that 99%, but still, it is up to 93%. They lose this next fight, they're pretty much losing this round.
Oh, they're absolutely losing this round, but luckily O3 Splash had the wherewithal to keep their DPS ults, namely the Lukewarm Overclock, available for this next fight. That, along with the Blizzard, if Boat's able to get a couple members of Rift frozen up, it's just going to be a matter of a little bit of aim labs for Lukewarm to take out those 3 standing targets.
as they're looking to get this duel already underway. Now they're gonna look a little bit more into the favor of O3 Splash, and Lukewarm finds the shot. X10 cannot run and hide from the overclock of Lukewarm with the Mei ultimate coming in. Chime trying to change anything. It was Hanbei high with this. Oh, no, Neutral's just gonna come in with back takedown Hanbei from on high and get this point back into the favor of O3 Splash, taking round number 1. I mean, unless something happens.
So.
I mean, Astronauts are going to be able to come back into this point. They've got the respawns, though, from O3 Splash. Can they solidify this fight before the full respawns come back from Rift? They've got to stay on the point for the time being. But now with the Dragon Strike and the pick on the neutral, this should be enough. They've separated out Cowman. They've gotten them super low. X10 coming alive at the 11th hour for Rift and getting the hold, continuing their march towards 100%.
I mean, Rift do manage to save this round 1, but it's still key that O3 Splash managed to flip the point over, because we could be talking about last fight territory right now, 20% more than Rift has right now, if they were able to hold on to it. What they do get, though, is an O3 Splash that used a lot of their ultimates to try and take the point back and end it right there. They still need a little bit more percentage where Cowman and Deco have their ultimates up. Astronex, Ymitra have a massive advantage on those tools.
They do indeed right now, as they're going to look. Cowman looking for a pick, looking to duel on the point with those pummels, with that Nemesis form. But again, like you said, they're walking into a lot of ultimates. Astronex and Ymitra with 2 key ultimates as well. Chime coming online with this, the Blizzard could be massive. The Annihilation comes in early on from Cowman. There's the Blizzard from Chime as well. Can they find the pick? And they do. Cowman goes down. This might just have flipped entirely into the favor of Rift, and it's seemingly so. They find another pick, and it might just be the case. Ymitra finding out neutral, who can no longer use that amp matrix from on high, and there it is. Hanbei finding out the 2 kills. It's just Cowman staying alive, but it's Hanbei with that shot taken down him and taking round 1.
I mean, that was really Rift clawing that point back from the brink, and it really goes back to what I noticed when I was watching this team play yesterday, which is they have this attitude that no longer how bad things look, it doesn't matter to them. They're going to continue to fight as hard as possible. They have this sort of morale that is unshakable and this confidence that is unshakable, and it allows them to claw these points back from where you really think O3 Splash should have been able to take it there. Rift do manage to get themselves first point going into Gardens, and while we are going to be seeing more of the same from O3 Splash, Astronex is going to go on to the Reinhardt. Now, this is something that we did see from this team before on Gardens when they played against Strix, so they really love this Reinhardt plus Symmetra composition to just try and barricade themselves up on this point as long as possible, make it as hard as possible for O3 Splash to get in.
Well, yeah, it is just that microwave of damage that you come in, the hammer, the Symmetra beam. But, well, when Boat's finding headshots with those icicles, that's going to be kind of hard to keep that hold going. But unless they find, they need to find another pick, and it looks like they have that opportunity here and now. They're forcing back Astronex, and Chime goes down to a pummel. They're going to have to reset, and the point starts off in O3 Splash's favor.
You just can't lose X10 that early in that fight. Your entire win condition is keeping X10 alive for long enough to get that Symmetra beam charged up, and once you go down early, you don't have a photon barrier coming up, and it's going to be way more difficult to play this Symmetra composition when you don't have control of the point. Lukewarm is basically going to be able to take pot shots unless you close the distance immediately like that.
Yeah, very good closing of the distance there, and a nice play coming in from Astronex, taking Lukewarm off the side of the map with that nice little Reinhardt charge tech. Now they can come in here, and the Blizzard's already being built up from both of the 2 Meis on the board. Can they find more off the back of it? No, they cannot. It is all O3 Splash yet again with the Annihilation cleaning house and taking no prisoners as O3 Splash are looking dominant on round number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun strategy from Rift, but I feel like, well, okay, XN is going to stick onto it. I just don't think the Symmetra works very well when you're playing into Gardens. If you can be on the point and set up your turrets, it's great, but you do almost have that Photon Barrier available, and you are going to be able to teleport on the point, so it does keep O3 Splash guessing, maybe try and force an early beat from Deco.
Yeah, that it has to be your win condition here. Looking to get that beat out of this fight early on, but with the Photon Barrier now coming out, Astronex looking for that shatter, laying down the opponents, but they only really find Lukewarm. No, make that boat as well, going out off the side of the map thanks to the charge of Astronex, and now it's finally looking up on the up and up for Ref. They've got the numbers on the point. Deco goes down and the flip goes into the favor now of Rift.
And notably, O3 Splash get 90+% on the point before Rift managed to take it for the first time, just like we saw on Control Center. Can we see Rift claw this point back, just like they did on round 1? I will say, Josh, they have the tools to do it. That Blizzard from Chime, if you can use that early, especially because there's no support ultimate on the other side, and just make sure you secure at least one kill with it, that would be the fight right there, and secure yourself about 50% before O3 Splash could go again.
Oh, and finding Deco out early on is just huge. There's no way to get away now thanks to that pick. They are going to try to keep this going as Hanbei's going to use that Amp Matrix early on. Cowman, interestingly enough, did also use that Annihilation to no really avail, trying to change the tide of that fight, but the wave was just too big from Rift so far, as they can't really get that footing that they're so desperately looking for.
Yeah, that Annihilation, losing it early, was huge for O3 Splash, because now they pretty much just have to depend on the overclock from Lukewarm to be able to get that damage, and Lukewarm has to run away to a health pack because it's getting pressured out very quickly by the support and DPS lines of Rift, who both use their DPS ult at the same time. A big wall and a big snow globe come out, and Cowman has nowhere to run. Josh, 75% and counting for Rift.
Lukewarm.
They have...
Lukewarm, Deco, both neutral, coming in clutch as they come in. There's the Amp Matrix in from neutral, and Astronex uses the Shatter. Pretty much had to, because there was no one else to touch, and that's going to be O3 Splash taking round number 2.
I was talking like the round was already over, and then all of a sudden, the kill lead fills with green. I mean, O3 Splash, what a way to make an entrance here on round number 2 of Lijiang Tower. They really came back into that fight when it seemed like it was lost. Neutral, with a well-timed amplification matrix, was able to secure the point and anchor the team just enough to get into the fight when it was really looking lost. So we head into Night Market, and Night Market I've characterized many times as the submap of the 3, where you could really run almost anything if you want to, and anything also means Junker Queen. I'm really excited to see this from Rift. Never mind. They used the shout for the speed boost, and then they swapped the Rhine. That's fair. That's fair. So it's going to be a lot more of the same here on Night Market. We're running it back.
You can never have too much speed in this game, Devin, and they are using it to their advantage, but they aren't using the positioning that it gives them to their advantage. They're going to use that teleport to get to the back, try to focus people out, but Astronex is the only one there, as Neutral and Lukewarm start things off strong for O3 Splash.
Yeah, really nicely done from O3 Splash, making themselves known early, even though Rift had the teleporter to get onto the point first. It was just out damage, especially from Cowman, who is more than doubling the ult charge of Astronex on the other side, and doing that on Ramatra, whose ult charges fairly slowly, is pretty dang impressive. So nice stuff from the front line of O3 Splash to start, but you can never be too sure where Rift are going to attack. That teleporter is always a huge threat.
It really is, as now they're going to look in to get to teleport to the back, try to get them off guard, and a nice charge comes in. Oh no, the railing, Devin! The railing saved Cowman's life, and now Neutral is just pumping in that healing. They do lose Lukewarm, but they still have Cowman. Well, no longer on the board. Bout does find that shot with an icicle shot to the head of Chime, but it does seem like Rift has done enough to get the point finally into their favor here.
And interestingly, with that fight, it was won with just the teleporter. It used to be a Symmetra ultimate, so I guess you can say that it was kind of an ultimate use in that fight, but neither team have used anything in this night market round, and everything is coming online all at once.
Yeah, and Lukewarm's gonna start things off. Hanbei not gonna be able to use that Amp Matrix to deal with the aggression of O3 Splash, and they are gonna win this off with just their own Amplification Matrix from Neutral.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're going to do, and while you do get a little bit of stagger from Chime and Ymitra, it's not going to be enough to equalize on that percentage. 50% for O3 Splash as they start building up once again, and because you won with just the neutral Amp Matrix, all 4 of your other ultimates are going to be available. Luckily, Rift is going to have 4 ultimates of their own. Just feels like both these teams have been saving up for this big, explosive fight, and the dam's gotta break sooner rather than later.
Question is how big of a wave it will be for either of these two teams. Can they get the win, or is Rift going to continue to claw back in this series? The Photon Barrier coming in, the Shatter coming in from Astro, but it's just not going to land onto anyone with the charge coming through. Astro trying to change this fight back into the favor of Rift, and they do find out Lukewarm, but can they change it any longer? It's already up to 93%. Astrodex continuing to charge around the map like a madman, continuing to find picks, but they need more for the rest of their team, and they've got a perfect ultimate at the perfect time. The Blizzard coming in, splitting them back, taking the positioning for themselves as Lukewarm comes in from the back, looking for the shots, but it's all X10's Photon laser to try to clean the house, and Rift are in a position to take the point capture percentage back to their favor.
For the 3rd round in a row, Rift find themselves in a significant point deficit. One more fight loss brings Lijiang Tower over to O3 Splash, gets them 1 map closer to a 4-0 start in week 1 of the Summer Series. Rift need to hold on for at least 2 more fights. Can O3 Splash hold out until that Annihilation comes out from Cowman?
That is a question indeed, and there's not going to be that sound barrier available from Ymitra just yet. They've got to hold on. They're in really no hurry right now, though,
no,
Devin.
They're just going to make it a last fight territory right now. They're just going to try and use the Annihilation Blizzard to overwhelm Rift.
I mean, yeah, why not? As Ymitra is gonna be able to build up to this sound barrier, though. They've got to stay away from the Blizzard, but Hanbei's Immortality Field gone, but the Shatter comes out, perfectly timed. Astronex, can they follow it up, though? No, the healing is there. The support is there from this Deco and Neutral. They've got to keep things going. This mid-fight now, all on the backs. Chime is going to have a Blizzard, as well as this Photon Barrier. Can they find the pick? And Cowman is on the wrong side of the barrier. That is disastrous for O3 Splash. The overtime bar ticking in the favor of Rift. The Blizzard coming online. It looks to be all Rift in the kill feed, as that is going to be the map number 1 in the favor of Rift.
Josh, I doubted this team's insistence on playing Symmetra, but that was key to winning that final fight. I don't think Rift wins that fight if they didn't have the flexibility of the Symmetra to be able to kite out of the way of those AoE ultimates in Annihilation and Blizzard. Don't have that teleport, you're surely at least a couple members are getting caught by both of those ultimates, but much like us right now, Josh, it felt like Rift could be in 2 places at once, and therefore, it was impossible for them to predict where to place those ultimates. Rift hold this map out from the brink, just like we saw earlier, not earlier today, but yesterday against Strix, putting themselves off to a good start against the undefeated O3 Splash.
Yeah, they're looking really good here right now, and like you were saying, it was just that unpredictability of said composition that they were running. And I mean, obviously, if you're O3 Splash, you're gonna be looking to dim down that the opportunity to use Symmetra, if that is in the cards for their next map, which is going to be a hybrid variation of the game. And interestingly enough, we will be heading in to one of the more less appreciated maps in the game. I feel like I'd always had that special place in my heart from Goats. Obviously, you don't think Goats is all that what it's cracked up to be, but Winston Goats was one of my favorite things, and especially going into Numbani, which is going to be the map choice.
Yeah, I mean, Numbani is a map that it feels like you're really comfortable with if you're O3 Splash. You've already played it twice out of your 3 games so far, so it is something you really want to see. It also allows you to sub in. I assume we're going to be subbing in the Infected Winston so that we can run a lot more dive, try and slow things down a little bit. I think that's the main thing for O3 Splash. They want to slow things down, make it so that the frenetic pace of Rift in that Lijiang Tower map can't really survive, because it doesn't matter how many times you teleport around, it only takes one mistake and one well-placed dive from Infected to completely destroy your attack.
And it is kind of, I mean, obviously you can use Symmetra on this. We've seen it before. It is just, I feel like you said, a little bit more difficult with the dive that will be most likely be ran from O3 Splash, which what we see from what they've ran in the past here on Numbani, it is Winston, it is a Tracer, and maybe an Echo or an Ashe, depending on where they go. It is. I
will say, it's mostly Echo on defense, and then Ashe.
Ashe on
defense. Echo on attack, because being able to get up to the high grounds on attack is very important. And then Ashe on defense to be able to counter that Echo is the pattern I've noticed. We'll see if that continues.
We shall see. We're still obviously waiting for the readies for the teams and to see if Infected is actually coming in. I mean, we expect him to. Infected, known for their main tanks, if you want to still call them that.
I think more importantly, Infected known for the Winston and known for playing those dive centric tanks. So that's kind of I imagine the playstyle that you want to go to. Or if you want to just go way off base and play something completely different, I would also be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's go Zarya. Let's see a Zarya mirror matchup here, Devin. That would be something to see. Do it for the content. That's what this is for. The content for these tier 2 teams. And what better than seeing a Zarya mirror matchup on Numbani?
Yeah, that would be absolutely. I mean, genuinely, if we were going to see Astronex versus Calman Zarya, I mean, I feel like I've never. Can you be real with me, Josh? I don't feel like I've ever seen these two players play Zarya in an official game. I can't think of it.
I can't even think about my times to console Overwatch with Astronex, because Astronex was always a main tank player. So it is. It would be very unprecedented to see them whipping out the Zarya. But we do have the confirmation from our wonderful observer slash lobby guy, Joey, that Infected is in for O3 Splash. Yeah,
so I was predicting this the whole time, because you want to go slow, you want to go dive, so you want to go Infected here. It is a little, again, I feel like as the season goes on, it becomes a kind of predictable from O3 Splash. When you see Infected come in, you know the basic play style that they want to try to achieve. But maybe it's just a matter of O3 Splash not really caring if they know, because they don't think that Rift will be able to stop it.
Yeah, and I feel like that was something that we saw yesterday, especially with the highlight plays of the flex support for Strix, with Shadow just being so good on Ana specifically, keeping alive their tank player in Krandop really did put a damper in Rift's attack and defense on Midtown. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing the same compositions that we saw on Midtown as we are going to see here on Numbani. But it is still something to gauge on going into this next map.
And something I also wanted to make sure is noted is going to be the Tracers in this map, who most likely be... well, actually, XN did play Echo for the Strix Bad Blood team, so if you are going to go Echo, maybe it's going to be X10, and so you can really take advantage of the Chime Tracer, which is a little bit of a rare sight, at least compared to the Sombra that Chime tends to play a lot. So that'd be really cool to see. And then Boat is most likely going to play Tracer on the other side. So we're going to be very quickly seeing a lot of Tracer duels. I'm really hoping a lot of skirmishes on the side of the map, which is honestly like, hey, observers, if you could do me a favor, if you notice that happening, main fight doesn't matter. Let's just see the Tracer 1v1, you know?
Yeah. That is always the highlight, and it always feels like it sets up the fight perfectly. Whoever wins that Tracer 1v1 in those first opening minutes usually is the team that starts things off right for them. We also do have another swap coming in for Rift. This time, though, we have Abyss coming in for Hanbei, and there's the map set. We are about to head into the game. And what we saw yesterday from Abyss, I believe they were playing a lot of Zen.
Yeah, the one time we saw Abyss come into a game, it was when they were playing Circuit Royale and they wanted to play Zenyatta with a double sniper composition. So, you swapped out Ymitra for that to have Abyss Hanbei. This is going to be the first time, at least on stream, that we're going to be seeing the Abyss Ymitra combination. So I'm really curious to see what these two players are going to have here. Ymitra has been playing a lot of Brig, so maybe we'll be seeing Zen Brig from these two, but that does feel like sort of a low healing support duo. I wouldn't advise that kind of thing, but we're going to see in just a moment where they want to go.
Yeah, and well, it looks like, interesting, we will be heading with that Brigitte, like you were saying, both these two teams, and we are pretty much running what we were talking about before we got into the match, with the Echo and the Ashe just being the variation between these two compositions.
Yeah, and notably, as we were talking about Abyss, you do have Abyss going for the Ana, which is something that we did see Hanbei playing a lot in yesterday's game. So this must be a sort of map-specific thing, or maybe Rift have something specific cooking for their attack. But now we are going to have a bit of a direct comp between the Abyss and the Hanbei Ana. It'll be very interesting to see if that changes the setup of Rift playing this Echo composition.
Well, we shall see indeed who comes out on top. Can Chime find those sticky bombs, find those shots, and take out Lukewarm or anyone really on the side of O3 /? But Chime's going to get anti-nated up ready from neutral. So they're going to have to stall things out. And this is just a waiting game right now.
Yeah, you're really just trying to take some damage to get Abyss in neutral up to Nano as quickly as possible. Numbani first is notoriously hard to crack if you are the attacker, so Abyss already being nearly halfway to that Nano boost is massive.
Was very close there. X10 almost going down thanks to the recall, staying alive, but they are going to be on that back foot. They're looking for those shots. Lukewarm taking out Chime, but it is going to be taken back in kind with X10 coming in, but it does still seem like O3 have this upper hand, that pick on to Ashenix.
Yeah, they do have the upper hand right now, and again, that at first point is just so difficult to break if you don't have any ultimates to do it with. But now Abyss with the Nano significantly ahead of neutral is going to give Astronex that extra little bit of oomph that you need to break this hold.
Yeah, as they've got to figure it out. X10 looking to get that duel as Boat goes away, running in fear from X10 on point. And now they've got this first capture. There's no chance for a tie at the moment as they come in here looking to get things underway, and a nice play coming through from Chime. Infected is gone, and now Rift have their sights set on full capture.
Yeah, just really nice slow play there from Rift, understanding their win condition was getting the Nano first. That being said, O3 Splash getting right back into it with a Nano boosted Boat and a rallied Boat. This is a lot of ultimates that O3 Splash are going to be committing into this one, and it has effectively scared off Rift, excuse me. 3 ultimates used at once, but it did stop the Rift ultimate point capture at 91.7%, and you do still get to hold on to the Bob as it further the turret for this next fight.
Well, yeah, there it comes in, and I did want to notice Chime did not copy the correct player, but we'll talk about that after this fight, because Lukewarm comes in already, using that Bobby, like you said, to be that deterrent of the point, but they are forcing them back now. They've got a little bit of a little time, but no longer, and Chime now swapping over the Sombra.
It really does feel like Rift's big chance to crack that point A Numbani defense has gone by the wayside. They have no ultimates. They are frantically changing characters with the 40 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be almost impossible for anyone other than Abyss and X10 to get those ultimates available, and Boat with the Pulse Bomb that could be the final nail in the coffin if it hits.
Yeah, that could be all they need here, but also Rift with a well-timed hack onto someone could be massive, with the Nano Boost already being used onto Astronex, getting into the back line. Boat and Deco so low right now. If Boat goes down, that could be all they need, but Astronex is the one to fall. It is quickly turned back around with a nice whip shot. The Raid Boss unlocked, and it's working out well, though, for O3 Splash with the rally now coming online, being built up. Raid Boss 2, the Electric Boogaloo coming in for O3 Splash, but there's still an opportunity for Rift if they can find a pick. They've got Chime back on the point with the EMP coming in as well, and Deco goes down. They've got some players, but no, they've got to take them out. The Primal Rage from Infected, the Sleep Dart there, but no one's gonna be able to touch in the end. It is up to 95.6 on the board for Rift.
And what a really impressive defense from O3 Splash. It was not easy by any means. There were 2 massive opportunities for Rift to be able to unlock the point and get some meterage on there, but O3 Splash did a really nice job of regrouping after losing a couple of players, realizing what ultimates they had and saying, yeah, we can recontest this and potentially win, and do it not once, but twice. And that is really the mark of a team that deserves to be 3-0 at this point in the Summer Series, Josh. That ability to adapt on the fly and come back into fights when it is looking dark for them. O3 Splash now just have to avoid a fuller hold in order to tie up this series 1 apiece.
Yeah, and obviously that's always in the back of your mind here if you're O3 Splash. Especially since you did not hold them to that 1/3 capture percentage. So they might be playing with a little bit of caution. They don't want to be the ones that get fuller hold and go down 2-0 in the series.
So interestingly, as I've mentioned before, usually it is the Ashe played on the defense in order to counter an Echo on the offense. But Chime has opted this time around to say we're gonna fight fire with fire, aka fight Echo with Echo. So we're gonna be seeing a bit of a dogfight coming out between these two, and Boat immediately antied, losing that air battle initially. But back into the fight, it is a full mirror for Nimbani.
The full mirror coming out, and can it work? Oh, okay, that's already huge. Infected might have just won I think Infected probably just won the map for them here. Finding out the supports already. Chime does find one from the grave. Astronex is still alive, but there is just not going to be the healing that they need. Now the capture percentage coming up. They've got to swap to something, but I don't think it's going to be possible. O3 Splash take map number 2 in a very quick time.
So, yeah, O3 Splash just kind of walked in and won.
Yeah.
There really isn't much else to say. It was a very well-executed dive from Infected, really split off the support line of Rift from the rest of the team. But yeah, it just kind of felt like I was building up this dog fight, the Tracer fights, and then Infected is just like, oh, don't worry, we'll make this quick, and dives in, takes out the support line, and there's just no way for Rift to recover after that. So O3 Splash with a very effective map choice, pull off the full hold and the first try attack on Nimbani to tie up the series.
And this was very similar to what we saw from Rift yesterday. They did kind of get stomped on Midtown when they played Strix as well. So maybe we're still gonna see another map 5 because of it. Then it's kind of in the works at the moment from the way things have been going on the Timeless Broadcast project. But now that I've said it, it's going to be a map 4. We're not going to see map 5. I've jinxed it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Devin. I ruined everything.
We've said that so many times so far in Contenders, but the amount of map 5s that have been going around has been insane. Like, every single round so far, I feel like it's had at least 2 map 5s. It has been an incredibly competitive start to the Summer Series, and I am absolutely here for it. Let me actually count here. I have the Wikipedia page up here. Round 1 had 3 map 5s. Round 2 had 2 map 5s. Round 3 also had 2 map 5s. And now we are in round 4, which is, of course, ongoing.
So, I mean, it's been very close and almost the wire if you were watching the mainstream yesterday. Well, to the wire if you were watching the mainstream yesterday. If you haven't seen the last fight, check out Dividing's Twitter. He's got the link. He's got the video. I got
the hookup. He's got the hookup.
He's got the hookup and the heart of Rich Red and Kenobi in that. Oh my goodness. I love watching it.
Yeah, I mean, really, I would just recommend going back and watching that entire series, because it was one of the most intense and incredible climax of a series that I have seen in a very long time. Huge congrats to everyone who was involved in that broadcast and in that game for making that moment happen. But we have a close game brewing right here, Josh, and Rift now kind of got beat down with the Nimbani pick. They were not quite as prepared, it seemed, to play the dive mirrors and got punished for it. They couldn't handle the recontests of O3 Splash, and because of that, we find ourselves with a 1-1 tie, and Rift really has to respond and get back into this one on map 3, their map pick.
Yeah, so we are going to be heading into Escort here now. And again, well, we've seen Circuit Royale on this on yesterday's broadcast with and I believe that would have been the choice of Rift, because they did lose their hybrid map yesterday as well.
The problem is they lost it, though.
Yes, that is the problem in the grand scheme of things. Dorado is also an option to go to. Route 66 on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And obviously with the way that dive just went, though, I would feel like they probably be the most comfortable picking Circuit Royale, but again, I'm wrong. That happens a lot, and we're just not gonna go that. It looks like we're gonna continue with the dive as we look to be going to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
So we do continue with the dive, but the flavor of dive that you get on Gibraltar is a little bit different, right? There's a lot more of like tight spaces that the attackers have to get themselves into, and a lot of really strong high grounds for the defenders to take advantage of. So because of that, we will be seeing a lot more Ashe, a lot more Hanzo, a lot more Widowmaker that'll be able to get onto those high grounds and abuse those long sight lines. And as you mentioned before, they did seem pretty comfortable playing snipers. They wouldn't have gone the Circuit Royale yesterday otherwise, but this now gives them the chance to sort of get the best of both worlds, where they can play, if they want to, of course, play this kind of dive composition on attack and defense, while also getting the benefit of your sniper player X10.
Like you said, or you can go in the opposite direction. Obviously, X10 can still stick on that Tracer, and then Chime can use the Hanzo if you always do so, please.
Yeah. Or you can just go Tracer Sombra if you want, and just try and rush the high grounds.
Yeah, I mean it is all on the team's personal preference here, and well, we shall see. Because Watchpoint Gibraltar, we are loading right into that game.
Yep, Watchpoint Gibraltar coming up next here. Once again, Rift down after map 2. It is 1-1 tie so far, but after a very close Lijiang Tower, Numbani ended up being a bit of a stomp for O3 Splash, who seemed to be a little bit on their way to that 4-0 start in week 1. Again, the momentum is in their favor here, Josh. Rift have got to get that pendulum swinging back towards them with this Gibraltar pick. Are we going to be seeing that Tracer Sombra? Are we going to be seeing snipers? At least initially from Rift, we are seeing the X10 Widowmaker.
Yeah, and then obviously that can still work. It wasn't Chime just chat singing along, and but hey, I mean, I don't blame him. That's a good song, and I won't sing it because we could get in trouble with copyright lawyers, but we're gonna have it too here. And like you said, X10 on the Widowmaker on the attack. I don't know if it will be it's for only one shot, or are they gonna be sticking with it, and or are they gonna be swapping, like I said, that one shot and then going to the Ashe?
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens right at the start of this one. We do know for sure that Chime is going to be teleporting at least a couple of members of Rift to the other side of the map and swapping back over to that Tracer. X10 is going to be sticking onto the Widow right now, which means you do have a little bit of the range advantage over Lukewarm, who has gone over onto the Ashe, but you don't have quite as much maneuverability.
Yeah, and it is not as much as it once was with that little bit of damage reduction, I believe what it was called, or damage rate distance reduction. But we'll see if that has anything to do going into this fight. But they've got this high ground already away from O3 Splash, forcing them to that low and back high ground here now, as they are going to be I
don't know if the stream is seeing this, but we have gone dark here for a minute. Okay, we are back in this one, and notably, Josh, it feels like this has been one massive elongated fight, and O3 Splash has pushed the cart, Rift has almost pushed the cart to the end of point 1. One more fight win, even with X10 going down, you have plenty of time to get that one fight win and get that time extension.
Yeah, but I always feel like that's what happens on Watchpoint Gibraltar. You take these elongated fights, and then the defensive team usually gets the stop before it gets above onto that level ground. We do see that swap, though, coming in from X10 here over to the Ashe after a failed attempt with the Widowmaker. Still hoping to make a difference on this sniper character, but the shots coming in. Lukewarm just taking those pot shots in already, is now the Nano Boost coming in, looking to get into the support line. The dive coming through, and Chime seeks out Deco with a pulse bomb. A pulse bomb of their own coming in from Boat, but it's not going to be enough. It looks like Rift have finally opened it up fully in the favor of them. They do lose X10 in the process, but it's still all Rift right now.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't matter. You could get a little bit of contest here, but even if you do jump back in, you do have the Primal Rage and the Rally from Rift if they want to use it. You really should hold on to it for second point and just take these staggers as you can get them. Rift now feeling pretty. Because of these staggers, you get to go in on Gibraltar and really get set up on these high grounds before O3 Splash can come in for another recontest. And they use quite a few of their ults too to try and hold on to that first point. You do have 3. Rift are also going to have 3.
Yeah, the big difference, though, is the support ultimates on the board for O3 Splash. But hey, Boat going down early on, and Infected super low as well with a nice sleep dart coming through. Bob trying to do something on point, and it is, well, they do that exactly. Infected goes down to Bob, and that is, again, Rift pushing the objective. This is a completely different look here for them on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
And it all goes back to those staggers on point A. O3 Splash wasn't able to establish themselves on point B very well, so Rift are able to take advantage of those high grounds, take advantage of the vantage point that the spaceship gives you to get all the way to the end of point B in one fight. Rally is not in time to save Infected.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Astronax is going to be slept up here, but like you said, that rally a little too late. It's going to take some miracle here now for O3 Splash to try to turn this fight back into their favor, but with all the picks in the world coming in from Rift, it's all but over. Point 3 now unlocked for Rift.
Rift did use a lot in that fight to make sure that they would get that time extension, but I do definitely understand how important it is to make sure you don't give O3 Splash a chance to stabilize on point B. And now with 3.5 minutes on the clock, you're going to have plenty of time to get those ultimates back up and go for one final fight to get through to the end of the map. This fight should really just be focused on getting the ults out of Infected, Boat, and Lukewarm. 2 out of 3 are already done.
Yeah, nice sleep start coming in from Abyss, but, well, yeah, woke the angry monkey and paid for it in the end. X10 goes down with the follow-up. Nice coming in from Boat, as Boat coming alive here on point 3 at the perfect time for O3 Splash. You've got to set the tone. You've got to start your defense here and now, and that's all Boat all the time for O3 Splash.
Yeah, O3 Splash do get the stop, but it isn't until you get to this last big quarter before the end of the map. So, one fight here from Rift, and O3 Splash will be forced onto a bit of a stagger fest to keep themselves from losing this defense altogether. Now, you have given Neutral enough time to build up that Nano Boost to go with Lukewarm's Bob. Most likely that'll be put onto Infected, but Nano Bob is always a lot of fun. Nope, Infected jumps in and is going to put tons of pressure on Yamitra, try to force the rally out early.
It's just going to be Boat again, though, putting the pressure on to Rift. Winning that Tracer duel is just so massive, like we were talking about before the map started, and it's already just going to make Rift regroup.
Yeah, Rift, just go ahead, get back to spawn, and come back with all 5 ults either up or going to be up. O3 Splash, though, ready with an arsenal of their own. Everything except the Nano Boost that they just used is available. If Rift really want to go in for this one, they're going to be in for one heck of a fight.
Yeah, as they come in, there's Bob trying to do something yet again, and Astronex cannot get out. The whip shot from Deco, claiming the life of the scientist there. as O3 Splash again hold on, and they again only needed one ultimate.
Yeah, it's been really well done. We do have a pause called from Rift. Maybe they, I really hope there wasn't anyone disconnecting from the lobby, because
Not good.
you have all 5 ultimates available. If you have a DC, doesn't matter who it is for Rift right now. That is an ultimate that you were losing. That is a key tool that you are not going to have available to you. So I'm really hoping for Rift's sake that that does not happen, because I mean, it's not too often you see that whole row of ultimates. It can be a really explosive fight, and a DC at this time would be especially unfortunate.
I mean, I feel like the best case scenario might be if X10 disconnects, just because of okay, it's a mouse issue, it seems. But the best case scenario, what I was going to say before we figured out what the issue was the X10 disconnect, just because we saw Bob be used in the previous fight from O3 Splash, so you'd still be mirroring them on their ults as well.
Yeah, you would be, you would still have quite a few ultimates if you are Rift. It's not like a DC would be the end of the world. Luckily, it looks like that is not what has happened. Everyone is still in the lobby, according to the screenshot that I'm looking at just now. So let's talk a little bit. We already know what Rift has going into this next fight. O3 Splash are going to have 3 ultimates of their own. You have the Pulse Bomb, you have the Primal Rage, and you have the Rally. So a really nice mix of offensive and defensive ultimates from this team, with potentially a neutral Nano Boost coming up later in the fight. So you have the tools for O3 Splash to be able to withstand this 5 ult barrage that Rift are surely about to unload on them. But you really have to ration these resources out to be able to properly counter everything that Rift are bringing to the table.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll have to see how they use it. And definitely, Deco is gonna have to keep that rally from being used in a saving manner. You don't want to have to use it for yourself to stay alive. You want to be able to use that in the midst of that ult barrage, the ult fiesta, if you will, from Rift that's going to be coming online in the end. And then, obviously, with Boat, if you can find a pick onto, say, Abyss or Yamitra, that would be the perfect pick for O3 Splash going into this first fight.
Yeah, it would be huge, but we are in a little bit of a standstill at the moment. So, and that moment has ended. Wonderful. Rift goes back into this 1 minute 20 on the clock and 5 ultimates on the board. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this should be the bearings of an impressive fight from these two rosters, but can they execute them perfectly? A nice coach gun away from Lukewarm staying alive. Infected going deep in the back line and using their Primal Rage to stay alive, but there it is. That's the perfect pick, like I was talking about. Yamitra, and they found him out with the rally in use. That is huge pick coming in from Boat and buying more time for O3 Splash.
Yeah, I mean, after losing your rallying break, Rift are just going to back off and wait again. The problem is now with less than a minute on the clock, there's almost no way that you're going to be able to finish this point with time on the clock unless you play this absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, they're going to come in. They've got people alone for the moment, and it looks like it. But Deco's going to have that rally. They did not have to invest at that previous fight thanks to the ultimate usage of Boat. Can they stay alive, stave off the aggression with a nice anti-nade onto Astronex, though? They've got something going, but there's another nice Pulse Bomb coming in from the Tracers. Boat and Chime doing the heavy lifting for these two squads. Who can find this next pick? Can they stave off the aggression? Can they hold on to Pulse Bomb again? Boat coming in when it matters. The waves this guy is making is huge. He must be a cruise liner for this O3 Splash roster as they hold on at the doorstep of point number 3.
The nano boosted Lukewarm as well, getting multiple picks in that recontest fight. Absolutely massive for O3 Splash, and just shows how much trust they have in their DPS players to pop off when they need to. O3 Splash, Josh, now have a clear objective to surpass in order to take the lead in this series. Does it take them almost to the end of the map? Sure. But it's not the end, and that means that we will not have any extra rounds, and it's a big moral victory just to stop Rift short of the end of the map.
Like you said, it's almost the end there, and that is huge for Rift, I would say, because, well, with the layout of escort maps, it always just continues to get progressively more and more in favor of the defensive team, and that's what really we saw there. Like on point number 3, they got that stop, and then with that cart being where it was pretty much in the favor of O3 Splash. So they always had that chance to get that last touch before Rift could really do anything to solidify their series, as now we head into the attacking phase of O3 Splash.
Yep, and it's looking like we're seeing more of the same for both sides. A little bit of a sneaky sim teleport to get Lukewarm into position, and O3 Splash starts their attack.
Yeah, they do indeed. Lukewarm looking for those hitboxes, looking for anyone out of position for just a millisecond. But it is going to be infected. Oh, no, there it is. Lukewarm found out X10 coming into their sightlines for that nanosecond, like I was talking about. And, well, when you make a mistake against players of this caliber, they are going to usually be able to capitalize on it. But Infected, though, going to get anteed up here. They are going to have to play it a little bit more safe, as Neutral trying to save out their tank player is going to go down. And now they are going to have to back up X10 from spawn, finding Boat out and buying more time for Rift.
I mean, immediately, Chime making his presence known in this map 80% of the way to a pull spawn after one fight. Abyss right behind, actually right ahead of Chime in the nano charge, which is almost doubling where Neutral is at. So Rift get to hold at about the same place O3 Splash has, with multiple advantages in the ult department.
Yeah, they don't. Well, there goes Asterix. Then that might be enough for O3 Splash to take round or point number 1 here. Yeah, okay. Lukewarm coming in yet again with another nice shot, and the cleanup is there from O3 Splash. Point 1 is all theirs for the taking.
And the second that I was doubting Neutral's ability on the Ana, he has to go and prove me wrong with an incredibly well-placed ante onto Astronex. Gave that Winston nowhere to run and nowhere to go except back to spawn. That is a very quick point A capture for O3 Splash, and now they have equalized on the ults. That advantage that Rift had a minute ago just about gone, especially with the walls currently active on Lukewarm's part.
Yeah, walls are up and Abyss is down. There goes Boat yet again, finding a pick onto the support line there. This has just been a tale of Boat throughout this series so far for O3 Splash, as they continue to hold on and keep the cart pushing.
Yep, cart still moving forward. There is a chance here for Rift to recontest if they want to, but O3 Splash doing a very good job. O3 Splash doing a very good job of holding those doors as much as possible. And Infect is actually going to go into the back with the Nano to make sure X10 has absolutely no say in how this fight's going to go.
Yeah, they do find them out. The rally now going to be invested, though, from Mitra to try to keep that health up, get that armor up, and keep this point in their favor. They want to dwindle down this time bank for as much as they can. They've got to stay on the point, though it is so very close to the end. And especially if they get off for too long, and Lukewarm finding the shot yet again here is going to be all they need to get to the end. Astronex buying some time, but also giving alt charge to this O3 Splash squad, as Lukewarm has a nice day at the firing range with 2 headshots to end things off.
And you know why Lukewarm is able to just calmly position and get headshot after headshot in that fight? It's because of Infected going into the backline with the Nano and taking care of X10. So there was no direct competition for Lukewarm. So a really nice job from O3 Splash helping each other out, taking point B with fairly minimal resistance from Rift and fairly minimal ult use from the O3 Splash side. Infected's gotta get out of dodge though, as a couple well-placed headshots on the Scientist takes him out of spawn takes him out of the map into spawn. But still 3 minutes 40 seconds on the clock is plenty of time for O3 Splash to mount an attack.
Yeah, nice plays coming in from Chime there. X10 has made that swap over to the Widowmaker like we did mention there. But they still have this cartel moving for the time being. Astronex goes in the back, though. The Nano Boost perfectly timed. Lukewarm is gone. And that should be Rift looking to start their hold on point number 3.
Yeah, they have a little bit of a hill to climb, but we have seen them do it before to the tune of a 3-minute time bank and really one fight to give up before you are in panic stagger territory. You know what else you have to deal with? A nano boosted Infected in your backline.
And Yamitra is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, as they are going to wake them up too, which is not what you wanted. The rally is now gone, though, and that is, they are going to be able to keep things going for the time being. The Primal Rage now coming online, looking to take them off the side of the map, but no, they're not. They're going to get sucked yet again. Still no one falling down, but 2 minutes and 23 seconds are on the board for such a short way. But Chime is going to start it with a nice pick onto Lukewarm to start it out, and it looks like perhaps the side of O3 Splash might just wait it out, especially if they lose another player here shortly. They're still holding this out, but the pulse bomb stick and kill onto Chime solidifies that defensive hold yet again.
Lukewarm swapping over onto the Sojourn now to offer that flexibility as fights get a little bit more close range. And of course, we have seen Lukewarm pop off on this character quite a bit in the past. However, you are going to have a lot of support ultimates that have to chunk through if you are that Sojourn, if you are that Tracer with a Pulse Bomb. First one to do so is going to be a Nano Boosted Astronex.
As the Nano Boost is going to come in, but it is going to be Chime yet again. These Tracers, the tails of the Tracers, Devin, have been really the standouts of this this map and the series so far.
Yeah, it's been incredible, and all of a sudden, Josh, we have 70 seconds left on the clock, and O3 Splash still looking for answers here. Boat in the back, trying to find a clean Pulse Bomb stick on really anyone other than Astronex, and a nice bash from Yamitra is going to get them out of the path of the Pulse Bomb, and they take down Lukewarm.
You can't afford to lose anyone here. Infected has to play extremely passive. They've got to stay alive, or everything could be over, and you're gonna go down to 1. 35 seconds to go, and a nano boost from neutral, as well as that Primal Rage is what you're looking for.
I'm still just so impressed at the awareness from Yamitra there, as the Pulse Bomb from Chime finds Lukewarm. Josh, with only 20 seconds left on the clock here, O3 Splash cannot afford to lose anybody else, but Infected does go down. They have 3 ultimates. They have the tools to potentially get this over to the other side, but can they regroup in time?
No, neutral going down. The rally invested to try to stave them off. They are going to try to get the touch. It's the overclock coming comes in, time goes down. Lukewarm may be on a one-man wrecking crew to hold things going. Lukewarm with 3, the Primal Rage. Deco on the point as well, trying to keep everyone up and healthy. The respawns are there. Can they stave off the defensive hold? Infected finds the best. Yamitra super low as well. There's so many people low. Who goes down next? And it is going to be Chime. This is not what you were looking for. Rick, you had it all in the bag, but Bowen and Infected come in clutch, taking the map for O3 Splash.
The lukewarm Sojourn comes up clutch for O3 Splash yet again. What an incredible play. And Bo also in the chat, who was managed to get the touch, saying, hey, I just blinked 3 times straight through. How did you let me get the touch there? So many things had to go right for O3 Splash to win that map and take the advantage in this series, and everything they needed to go right did. What an ending to that Gibraltar map. And now with push on the board here, Josh, Rift are sitting with their backs against the wall, and in 1-3 record looming if they can't turn it around now.
This is where you look to come back. It is going to be hard. Rift, this is going to the way that their previous matchup on broadcast had went. They've got they've won map number 1, lost maps 2 and 3, and this is where they came back. The push map, the push game mode, with Coliseo being their map choice. We don't have that yet, but we will see when we see it. We are going to be headed to a break here, though, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss the conclusion of this series right after this. All right, everyone, we are back, and it is time for our map number 4, and we are going into the push game mode here. And well, we still don't have the choice of the teams just yet, but if we have anything to go on previous picks from Rift, it would probably be Coliseo, but we don't know just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they really staked their flags in their previous game against Strix yesterday. That's when they came back from an incredible 90-meter to 0 deficit in order to... Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the clear cat you have on your lap. But they got themselves back on... They got themselves back... No, don't take the cat off your lap. That's not what I was saying.
She got off.
Dang it. Dang it.
She doesn't want to be in the room. She wants
Minty,
to be out.
Josh, Minty needs a casting partner, okay?
I know.
Hirix tries his best, but the language difference between feline and human, it just doesn't quite work on broadcast. So we need to have a feline casting duo.
I agree. I feel like Sugar would be a very good duo for Minty. I feel like that's just the names just alone make it perfect. But let's talk about Overwatch. Well, we still don't have the map choice, but we can talk about that last fight before anything goes underway. And I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say? Like the that play from Lukewarm to find those 3 picks, and then the sheer capability of Infected and Deco to stay alive, to allow the rest of the team to get back, to find those picks, to stave off the defensive hold is just remarkable.
I mean, sometimes you just pop off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just get the overclock, click a couple of heads, and your team's back in the game. But here's the thing that I really want to point out here, Josh. This isn't the first time we've seen Lukewarm pull off this kind of stuff against other contenders level teams in the Summer Series. Both today and yesterday, we've been seeing Lukewarm really pop off with the Sojourn and honestly have a real breakout season so far.
Yeah. Definitely good stuff for them to continue. Obviously, this isn't their first time in contenders. Obviously, it is a little bit kind of ish. I mean, they've played on teams like it, like they've played in the qualifiers and such like that, but they've never had this full chance to go into contenders, and they're looking very good at it right now.
Absolutely. And also, if we do see, we still don't have the map pick in, but if we do see Rift go for what they did in that game against Strix, try and go to Coliseo and run this Ramatra May composition, try and really make the game much more fast-paced again, like it was when they won Lijiang Tower, that is probably what they're thinking right now, because that is what gave them the best chance at victory in the past. But O3 Splash are prepared for that eventuality, right? You can just swap in Calman, and all of a sudden you have a very proficient Ramatra player. Boat is very, very good at May if it comes down to it, and Lukewarm, you could go Hanzo, but like that Sojourn also works very well in a brawl environment.
Yeah, as we do have the choice, and it was the map that I just said it was going to be. Coliseo going to be coming in here for our map number 4, as Rift look to climb back into the series, look to tie things up, or are they going to go down? 3-1 is the real question here and now.
Yeah, I mean, that is the question that we are all asking right now. And again, because we do see Coliseo picked, we are probably going to see Cowman come back in for Infected. Now, Cowman, Have to imagine here, Josh has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder here because the one map that he played in this matchup, it was a loss for O3 Splash. Infected has come in, played a really solid Winston, and because of that, O3 Splash now find themselves up 2-1. If Calman is coming in, which we haven't actually gotten the confirmation from the production side of things if that has happened, but if that does happen, Calman will have a little bit to prove here to make sure that, hey, I can definitely lead these brawl comps to the same level that Infected can run these dive comps.
Yeah, we are waiting to see if that is the case. We haven't gotten the confirmation, and it is going to be the case, and it makes sense. Like you were saying, this is another quintessential brawl map. I mean, obviously you can play other heroes, but it is now with this. Obviously, we're probably going to see that Ramattra coming in from both of these two squads.
Yep, that's exactly what we're going to see. And while there are still 20 seconds for these teams to adjust their compositions if they want to, I do think it's interesting to see Lukewarm walking in the Hanzo to start off, and X10 saying, "Hey, Lukewarm wants to pop off on Sojourn in the last map. Maybe I can come in and do just as well." And if that is what X10 is going to walk out with, and it is, that is going to offer Rift some really solid shield break. It's also going to offer some really good short and long range damage.
Yeah, as we will see who can get that upper hand. Like you said, the only difference, well, there is another difference. Abyss is on the Ana as well instead of the Baptiste of neutral. But we'll see if that damage dealing difference can puts a dent in either of these two squads. Can they land these headshots with the Hanzo? Or is it going to be enough? Well, the Hanzo already paying dividends, though. Finding one, drop them two, as that is going to be O3 Splash coming in quickly with a first fight win.
Lukewarm picking up right where he left off, my goodness, with 3 well-placed Hanzo headshots. And when a Hanzo gets hot like that, there is just nothing that anyone can do on Rift to be able to counter it. So immediately Lukewarm, 60% of the way to a Dragon Strike. At this rate, we'll have it midway through this next fight.
Yeah, this is going, looking good right now for O3 Smash. Obviously, it was a little too early to call, as the fight gonna be breaking out as they come through. Both these two teams still waiting to fully get this point into either of their teams' favor as the pummels come through, but it is X10 to start it out, and Astronex coming in as well. Rift comes back quite quickly with the fight win of their own.
Yeah, they are going to take a second to make sure they can go back in as a full 5 before they commit to this middle fight, and that is going to pay off thanks to a stagger onto Deco, and now neutral going down as well. So really nicely done from Rift, playing it patient and making sure they don't start off 90-0 like they did last time around. They're going to get some more point presence of their own, and they have 3 ultimates already available, a 4th one coming online right now.
So they have the bot going in quite. They're about to overtake them. They are gonna. Nope, they aren't gonna get that overtake there. That finally gets it, but it's not really the point at the moment with Deco finding Chime Out, who did use that Blizzard, but now the Annihilation. No, the Annihilation not used quite just yet, especially that's usually a tried and true combination, the Annihilation Nano Boost, but that's just not the case. They are just gonna fully backing away from O3 Splash now.
Yeah, just back off. You do have the lead, so you don't have to play super aggressive anymore. If the map were to end right now, Rift would be the winners, but unfortunately that this map type does not end after 3 minutes, and now Rift have gotten themselves back. They have recalibrated themselves, reorganized, and X10, unfortunately the overclock fades away, but the Annihilation from Astronex is Yeah,
That's gonna
huge.
clean up Cowman there. The Blizzard, though, from Bo, Yamitra, ever true, the sound barrier on the perfect moment coming in, and now the Pummel gonna be finding some picks of their own. Lukewarm down, and that is going to be Rift yet again, holding on to the bot progress.
And this is a concept with push that I've seen Rift using very well that not a ton of teams do, which is just ignoring the bot sometimes and making sure that you can put yourself in the best position possible to win the upcoming fight. You don't have to be on the bot all the time. You just have to make sure that you win the fight, and then you can get the bot back over to your barrier and extend the lead.
And that's all you really need. You don't need to complete this map. You just need to have more progress than your opponent. But Lukewarm comes in, a perfect Dragon Strike coming through. Yamitra and X10 fall down with some help as well from Cowman with that Ravenous Vortex coming through as the bot gets back into the favor of O3 Splash.
And O3 Splash with a hodgepodge of ultimates coming online right now that could spell disaster for Rift. Both support ultimates online and the Annihilation, whereas both support ultimates are gone for Rift currently. Chime's Blizzard has to be massive here. It has to be used early, and it has to secure kills.
Yeah, as they've got the they're very close in again, overtaking it, but it's not what matters. But Lukewarm continues to just do wondrous things on the Sojourn here for this O3 Splash squad as they look to overtake the progress of the bot from Rift here quite quickly. And they have the ultimates to do so as Boat takes out Chime, who cannot get the value that they were hoping for. Yet again, these Blizzards have not been what you wanted as the Annihilations come through, but it is Deco helping their team stay alive with that sound barrier. Mitra was not close to it, and they could not build up to it, and that is going to be why O3 Splash overtake the lead in the push variation.
And Boat manages to hang on to the Blizzard as well, so you are going to have that massive ultimate to make sure that you're going to be able to, at the very least, scatter Rift enough to be able to get those forward spawns online.
Yes, they now come through. The Blizzard of Bo is just going to lock everyone up. And, well, all on top of that, a huge anti-nade does come through onto Abyss. But X10, it is going to be the Sojourns trading things out at the moment. Still, though, it is anyone's point, but it is going to be a little bit pushed towards the favor of Rift. But in the end, still, this fight has not even come to fruition. They're still waiting it out. The App Matrix comes through from neutral, but it is just going to be buying them time, buying more time in their favor to get things back. But with these support ultimates coming in, but there's in from the back. Oh, X10 lights up Lukewarm. They do lose out Yamitra, which would have been nice to have that sound barrier, but in the end, they do not need it. Rift comes alive. Astronex with the help of the Nano Boost as well. Rift continue or move the bot forward.
I'm going to keep drawing comparisons to the first game we saw of Rift, because I'm seeing these comparisons left and right, because on Colosseo, at about this amount of time on the clock, X10 had a clutch ultimate shutdown onto Taeyong in order to keep the momentum going in their favor, and that's exactly what we saw from X10 again here. Rift with one fight, they'll be able to take the lead, and they have 3 ults to do just that.
I really feel like, well, I'll tell what I feel like after this as Astronex comes in with the pummel, the Maywall finally finding value for Rift. And I was going to say, with this fight going down, with the teams taking so long to finally get these forward swans active, I have a feeling that could be the biggest difference maker. Well, it is going to be the biggest difference maker going into this last 2 minutes.
Yeah, so we hit the 2-minute warning here. The 0-3 splash panic starts to set in, especially with Lukewarm going down. Your main damage dealer is no longer on the field, so you can try and use a Blizzard if you can, but do you have enough damage to get any kills out of it? No, you're gonna have to focus on the Annihilation, and Chime goes down immediately. That is what you needed. Calman comes through. The Brawl tank is brawling, and every melee, it feels like, is another dead member of Rift. 0-3 Splash take the bot back, but Josh, with only 80 seconds left on the clock and 20 meters to make up, they have some work to do.
Yeah, definitely, and they have to win another fight here before they can even really make any progress. And they're walking to 3 ultimates from Rift. This Annihilation and that Nano Boost could just be the nail in the coffin that they need here and now, but they might not even need it. Chime landing an Icicle to their opposition is gonna be the opening they're looking for. The Amp Matrix comes through, but they don't really need to do anything. They can just buy the time. They have this. They have the advantage in distance at the moment. There's the Nano Boost now coming in on to Astronex, but Abyss is going to be the one to go down. 0-3 Splash are the ones to find the picks, and it's all off the back of who is it? Lukewarm yet again coming in clutch for 0-3 Splash.
I feel like Lukewarm has been continuously on fire for this entire map, but now Lukewarm has to come through one more time for 0-3 Splash. The only current ultimate available, and X10 on the other side. The jump shot on the deco. There is no more speed boost. Rift is coming in for the kill.
And the Blizzard is going to be on point. Lukewarm is gone. This is going to be it, unless there's some miracle play, but that's not going to be possible when all your players are dead besides Deco. But, well, they're going to meet an arrow to the head as Rift take map number 4, map number 5. Who guessed it? As we are all tied up.
Here we go once again. Rift taking 0-3 Splash, the undefeated team so far, mind you, to map 5. If you were watching this on the Rift side of things and you were watching that Rift stream earlier today, you gotta be looking back and thinking like, is this the same game? Are we looking at the same thing right here? No, it is very similar, but Rift have themselves the opportunity to pull off another 5-map win on stream here. And notably, Josh, at least on stream, I'm not sure what map they won against Saints, but at least on stream, Rift is 3-0 in control maps.
Yeah, and right now, this is actually the only map that we know of is that match that's going to a map number 5. Afterlife versus Amplify still going on the Timeless Overwatch Twitch channel if you are so inclined to check that out. But right now, none of the other series have gone this distance. We've seen a map 5 and actually, our map 4, and actually I do want to highlight this. This is completely off topic. Like, Timeless beat Saints.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Rift were able to take a map off of Saints a little bit ago, so very much were able to make the former champions bleed, and Timeless comes through with the win. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty solid upset this early on in the season, and just goes to show you how competitive this contender season is. The parity between all of these teams is something that I haven't seen in such a long time.
Yeah, this feels like the closest Contenders has really been in a while, I would say. I'm not the forefront expert on Contenders, but just from my knowledge of looking at Liquipedia, I feel like that is the case. You might know more than me. We definitely know people that would know more than us, but
well, I think back to like the eras of like American Tornado and like when Odyssey was playing, and it's like when this team was at the top, they were clearly the top team, and they were the top team for multiple seasons in a row. It doesn't feel like that exists right now in this contender season.
Yeah, no. I don't think so, unless obviously we still have time to go. But Time is not really on either of these two teams' side. Ilios is and will be our final map of the series. Who can come out on top? Will Rift be able to take this first series against O3 Splash, who are sitting on top of the contenders standings right now because they are in that they have not lost just yet.
Yeah, and also notably, Rift might have, O3 Splash chose Ilios, but it is a map that they have played on stream twice now. So you have kind of this ability to look back at the VODs, see what this team's going to play. Okay, Infected is in. We're going to be playing a lot of Winston. We're on Lighthouse. It's very open. Boat likes to play Echo on this sub-map. Rift almost certainly knows that going in and has a plan for it, whether that is Chime staying on the Echo or X10 going on a mid to long range DPS to try and counter the Skyward DPS. Rift do have the information advantage just because all of O3 Splash's games have been public.
Yeah, they definitely do, indeed, but again, I feel like this, okay, no, it was Lijiang Tower, the game yesterday. I had a feeling we saw Ilios, but I'm just wrong. Chime is going to be coming in here early on. Boat is going out of this fight. And, well, that is a key pick for this Rift squad. They want to be able to get this capture percentage into their favor to start things off as X10 and Lukewarm looking to duel it out on the point, but X10's super low, gonna get the healing, gonna get the armor packs from Yamitra to stay alive, try to keep things going and wait for it out, and it is going to be Rift to come in, but a nice anti-nade comes in from neutral. It might just be for a few seconds that Rift keeps a hold of this point as O3 Splash come back strong and are going to be able to, no, not yet, not going to flip it just yet, but there it goes, 16% for Rift.
Yeah, but Boat immediately under a lot of pressure, and both Chime and Boat have been putting in the damage right now. It is not very often that you see an Echo outpacing a Tracer in ult charge, but that is what Chime is doing right now. Boat was almost able to do the same. So even though it was only one fight here, Josh, and about 15% for both sides, we have something like 8 ultimates coming online all at once.
We do, and again, that's a huge sleep, and again, a huge misclick, I feel like, from Boat here. They were not looking for Ana. They were looking for that pick on to the Winston, get that Primal Rage up like we just saw Chime there. It wasn't for too long, but it's still a lot of damage that can come in onto you with a nano boost in here on Infected, who has, in fact, come in for this map to try to assert their will yet again, try to change it back into their favor as it is being traded all around 1-for-1 still, but it's flipped back into the favor of Rift.
Yep, Rift are going to win this sort of ult fiesta so far and have the opportunity to almost certainly recontest this one. But with Boat taking out X10 on the side, O3 Splash no longer have to worry about that pesky Tracer in the backline and have an opportunity to go back in for a quick recontest, potentially take the point back before Rift are able to equalize percentage-wise.
They've got to get it here. Abyss super low right now. Gotta get that healing to them. They do get it in the end. Still waiting for that first pick. But so many people on the side of Rift right now. The pulse bomb did come through from Lukewarm, but not gonna find a stick, however. But it's still... that is a perfect example of being at the right place at the right time for Boat. X10 kind of just went into their crosshairs and said, I'll take these free kills. And O3 Splasher looking to clean the house and get the point back into their favor before it gets too far in Rifts, into Rifts.
Yeah, 75% means that even if Rift managed to take the point back, there's going to be plenty of time for O3 Splash to reconvene and get themselves ready for a final fight. But, of course, they would prefer to just hold on to it outright. And with both Deco and Neutral coming up to their ultimates momentarily, and with a slight moment here where they're going to have the rally up before Yamitra does, you could really go aggressive here. Okay, Boat has to be copying the Ana on purpose. This is like the third time he's done it.
Right? Unless they're just getting super unlucky. I mean, this is just, I don't, well, Chime's
no,
gonna
Chime
do it
did it too. You want the Ana, you want to try and sleep someone and maybe try and build up a nano to just get a free dive for your Winston.
Okay, that makes sense. People are smarter than me, so and Devin is one of them, and it makes sense. So as Lukewarm and his Boat come alive here at the perfect moment, gonna go round number 1 in the favor of Splash as O3 Splash cleans house.
Yeah, nicely done from O3 Splash. They had the ultimate advantage for just a moment, and they were able to use those ultimates in a timely fashion in order to knock Rift off. So, O3 Splash, 1 round away from getting themselves a 4-0 start in Week 1 of the Summer Series. The only thing that stands between them and victory is Rift and also one giant well.
Yeah, and that could be detrimental. Right now, though, we're not seeing anything silly, anything outlandish from this Rift squad at the moment. Not going to be pulling out Lucio, not going to be pulling out Roadhog just to try to get those environmental kills. They're going to stick to what worked for them in the past, but this time we're seeing Chime on the Sombra.
Yeah, and because of this, Rift really don't have a long-range DPS to be able to deal with Boat. You really have to play as fast as humanly possible. Just try to destroy the members of O3 Splash that are playing on the ground before Boat can drop in from the sky and take a kill.
Well, speaking of which, like Batman from on high, or maybe more accurate, Superman, Boat comes in with a beam, taking down 1 and opening things up for O3 Splash.
Yeah, very nicely done. Again, the lack of a long-range DPS or even a mid-range DPS from Rift comes back to haunt them, as Boat is pretty much just going to have free reign of the skies until Rift decides to do something about it. Rift is going to stick on this Tracer Sombra comp, though. They really love the mobility that it gives them. They just have to play fast, and Abyss being able to get up to that nano would be a huge help in that regard.
It really would, and Abyss is a bit ahead of Neutral at the moment, and well, their team is taking a bit of extra damage, so it makes kind of, well, it does make sense. When you heal more, you get more ult percentage as Abyss. I know it's a mind-blowing concept. I cracked the code there, but the Pulse Bomb comes through from Lukewarm, but Boat yet again, just finding the picks that is necessary for O3 Splash to continue their hold. X10 does find an infected, and they almost get the hack though, but Boat interrupts it. Coming in, there it comes. There's the copy over to the Ana, looking for the sleep, and they get the sleep on the X10 as well. They are gonna get out of the copy, but it worked wonders for them there.
Yeah, I mean, the Ana is a very risky copy, but as it was shown right there, if you hit the sleep, if you hit the anti-nade, those can be fight winners. You don't get as much advantage with the tank health pools because it maxes out at 300, so just go with the character that has the highest impactful abilities, and that's Ana.
It really is, as
what a
they
whip
do.
Shot.
Yeah, that's not good. A great play coming in from Deco, I think. Like you said, whip-shotting Chime away, and I think that's it. It is it. Deco winning the map for them with that hero play with a whip shot. O3 Splash are your winners in a 3-2 fashion, and go 4-0 in Contenders.
What a first week from O3 Splash. This team was one of the top teams in contenders in the spring series. But I gotta say, in week one, I'm not sure what the rest of the standings are looking like at the moment as first week wraps up, but O3 Splash have established themselves as one of the top dogs in a week where it feels like there's been no consistency anywhere. O3 Splash has been able to win map 5 3 times in 4 games in order to get themselves to this point.
Looking really good at the moment here. As we're gonna take, let's take a look at the standings.
O3
at
Splash
the
at the
moment.
top. Look at that.
O3 Splash at the top. Like I said, they were the only team that was undefeated after day number 2. As it is looking really good for them right now. Rift in the 9 seed in that 4th. In the highest part of relegation at the moment. Obviously, that can change, but not right now because, well, they are, Afterlife and Amplify are still playing, but it will only be a 1-map differential as we take a look at the other streams for the Timeless Broadcast Project. There is only one still going on. It is on the Timeless Overwatch channel, and it is into a map 5. So I don't really want to hold on here too long so we can raid into that stream as quickly as we can. But before we do, we have to talk about our MVP for the series.
Yeah, I think the MVP for me on this one, I've got to give it. Oh man, this is actually tough because every player I think of O3 Splash that played today definitely proved their worth. Everyone had their pop-off plays. I think at the end of this one, and this might be just recency bias, I do want to give it to Deco here. Yeah. I really think that EMP from Chime was in a position to catch out a couple members of Rift, and thanks to some incredible Brigitte reflexes, you whip shot Chime out in the middle of no man's land, the EMP gets nothing, and then all of the teeth on the final Rift attack was extremely dull. I thought for sure that Rift were going to be able to take it back partially due to that EMP, which is why I wasn't even talking like the game was about to end. I thought we still had a couple more fights in us, but that one play from Deco completely changed destiny.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I was thinking, like, who the heck am I gonna give this to? Deco was incredible on that support, especially if you go all the way back to Watchpoint Gibraltar as well, keeping Infected a while. Keeping Infected alive while the respawns were coming back for that miraculous completion of Watchpoint Gibraltar. But I don't know. I kind of want to give it to both Boat and Lukewarm as well. But
sure, they both did awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they just were incredible. But I'm just for the sake of having one person, we'll go with Deco, and then Boat and Lukewarm were the very close runner-ups.
Hey, no matter who is the MVP here, O3 Splash are the MVPs of week 1 of the Overwatch Contenders Summer Series, going 4-0. And while Rift are ending this week at 1-3, I gotta say, with a schedule that included O3 Splash, Wisp, and Saints, they have some of the tougher projected teams on the schedule early. Week 2, I'm really going to be looking for them to bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. There is still time. And like you said, this has been a very tough first 2 days for this Rift squad. They've still got some of the lower teams coming in later in the season. So that's where you got to look to win. You cannot afford to lose those series against the teams that you feel like you are better than. But I want to get us over to that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we are still only on round 1. So thank you all for watching us here on both the Rift Overwatch channel and the O3 Splash Twitch channel. Thank you all for watching. It's been me, Joker's Ransom, dividing. A huge shout out to our production, a whole bunch of them. But that is going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye-bye.